Zoe, I know that you're in between movies right now. You could be doing anything today in Hollywood. What brings you here? Why are you now doing what you're doing? I know that you and some of your sisters are going to Florida this weekend to campaign for candidates. Why are you here? Why are you doing this?
Civic duty. I've also realized that as a woman, I take great inspiration from the energy that I get from other women that allow me to believe that I can achieve just the dreams or the accomplishments that I want for myself, and then consequently, in some way, by achieving those dreams, I'm able to help my community. Yes, I am in between films, but I also became a mother 3 years ago, and becoming a mom was a very pivotal moment in my life because all of a sudden, everything that mattered personally to me, I related to how it can trickle out and affect others. And I felt like I just wasn't doing enough with all that I've been given, all that I've been achieving in my life. And we have 3 boys. We have a set of identical twins that look like me. and then our third one looks like my husband, who's an Italian immigrant. And I realized when they were born, I got this feeling when I saw my twins. They were 8 weeks early. They were in the NICU. It was whatever. It was devastating, but they were here. They were alive. They were healthy. And I see them in the first 24 hours that the light hits their skin and that melanin activates. And I see that they start looking more like me. These 2 feelings overcame my being. One was absolute pride, because as a woman, you go through all these changes to have your children, and then when they come out and they look like your husband, you kind of feel like, oh. But that wasn't the case for me. So I felt really happy that I'm going to get to see my reflection for the rest of our lives as we're allowed to be together. And then the second feeling was fear, because they were going to be perceived by many as black men that will have to fight twice as hard to prove their worth, to prove their intelligence, to prove that they deserve a seat at the table. And I felt just so ashamed that I've had that fear, but also I felt like I need to do something about it. As an American, my American experience being a first generation, coming from New York, Queens, and picking a profession where I don't really fit into the mainstream traditional narrative, which is what I've always been told every time I was denied a part or to audition for a part that I wanted, that I just wasn't white. And I always felt like I just had to fight twice as hard, because at the end of the day, the one thing I was not going to give up were my dreams. And now that I'm a mother, and I felt like I just have to take action, I have to do something, I created a digital platform called Bise, where we're basically highlighting stories of underrepresented people within our communities. We're starting with the Latinx community because it is the most marginalized according to its size and growth. And we're telling stories, 3 minutes each, of just regular folks that are just making a difference in their local community or across their nation, so that younger people that look like me, like my sons, can see their reflections and cultivate aspirations for themselves and say, you know what, if they're doing it and they did it before, I can do this, because representation truly, truly matters.
So right. You've been such a pioneer in this state and across the country around this sort of concept of intersectionality. And when I was blessed enough to help start the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund with one of my sisters, Tina Chen, is here, and some others with the Time's Up team. Intersectionality, alliances between farm worker women and Hollywood actors, and corporate women and waitresses, all of a sudden became key to this next wave. And I'm wondering, is this different?
It does, actually, because I feel that we have an awakening now in our country, that all of a sudden we realize that these issues that so many of us have been living through as women, as people of color, we have been living this and feeling it. Other people know about it, but it wasn't really personal to them. And now I think everything is very personal. And now we know that we really have to stand up and do something about these cancers that we have in our society, of misogyny, of homophobia, and of racism. And I do believe that one of the ways that we can end this, and all of us can do this, well, two ways. One of them is that we have to change our educational system so that in kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, that we can start talking about the contributions of people of color to this country. Native Americans, you know, whom we still have never repaid for the land that we took from them. People from Africa, you know, that were the slaves, they were the slaves that built the White House and the Congress, and all of the infrastructure that we have, that is not taught in our school book. And of course the contributions of immigrants from Mexico, from the Philippines, from Japan, from China, from India, all of the immigrants that have built the United States of America, we're not teaching this. And so this is why we have so much racism in our country, and this is why we have the poison, and I'm gonna call it out, the poison of white privilege and white privilege and white supremacy in the United States of America.